So here we go. In the absence of a defined path lies the essence of home. Yet it remains elusive to anyone seeking ownership. The paradox unravels as this facade, this semblance of reality, proves to be both true and false simultaneously. It exists, yet it doesn't. It embodies emptiness while portraying abundance. It shows polarity, but it is a quiet celebration of this wholeness that's interconnected. It appears unified while manifesting division. Within this enigmatic duality emerges an illusion. An experience within this appearance is perceived as happening to an individual, a character, a me, a self, etc., etc. This experience, devoid of paradox, feels undeniably real, leaving no space for that notion that this is not happening, this is not occurring to me. However, this experience of separation is disconcerting, like breeding discomfort. Something is not right. Something is missing. Insert phrase there. Consequently, what arises is the impulse to reconcile, to cloak the sense of incompleteness, to validate that feeling of discontent. Hence the pursuit of right and wrong, good and bad, this or not this. Thus, this appearance transforms into my life, my story, my narrative, my identity, a quest to improve, to validate, to unravel the mystery behind the unease. The impulse is to search for something else. Here in these encounters lies the revelation, the unveiling, so to speak, directing towards to what is, which is this. The illusion of separation, the belief in one's reality, the sensation of lacking, and the compulsion to rectify it are all illusory. In essence, this is whole. This is already complete. Nothing is amiss. No deficiency exists. No necessity for anything to unfold. No next, so to speak. No dropping. This discourse holds no dominion. It merely responds to this ostensible inquiry. No necessity for anything to happen. With the resolute answer, there's nothing needed. It's already this. It's already the case. This is it, even if it isn't. Whew, what to do with this dilemma? This seeming fleeting, transient appearances. For every discovery is followed by a fear of loss. Clinging, maintaining, a cycle of perpetual dissatisfaction. The culmination of seeking heralds the end of the seeker. The cessation of the belief in this reality. What remains is very evident. It's just this. It's just this, simply this. It requires nothing beyond itself. It encompasses all that exists. Whatever it unfolds, whether it be emotions, thoughts, experiences, feelings, sensations, is the completeness sought after. So whatever is happening now is it. It's not the completeness sought by the individual, though, nor it's the completeness or the wholeness pursued by the I am, the mind, the ego, the self, the character, etc., etc. Such pursuits perpetually fall short, for they exist beyond personal questing. transcending the individual's need for more or something different. To reiterate, what is sought is not merely personal wholeness, but the wholeness inherent in the very fabric of experience, in everythingness. It is the realization that what is sought is already present, already whole, embedded within the intricate appearance of thisness. It is in this seeing through that the illusion of separation dissipates, giving way to a profound sense of interconnectedness, a deep rest, a relaxation, so to speak. This interconnectedness is not merely an abstract concept of, but a palpable isness. This very this. It's in every moment, it's in every experience. It cannot be missed. Yet, amidst this realization, is revealed to be a shadow of what is this that cannot be comprehended, this that's unfathomable, this that's ineffable, this that's ungraspable. A sublime, all-encompassing essence that defies definition, yet permeates every aspect of everythingness and even nothingness. So to drive it home, since this is already home, this is not merely a word. It is a revelation, a gateway to what is always this. So what is this? This is what is, no matter what it is. This is what is, and what is this. So the illusion of this is also this. If you would like to talk about that, please go ahead. Thank you. You can also write a question if you don't want to raise your hand and discuss. Maria. Hello, Maria. Nice to see you.
Hi. Yeah. All
Hello.
right. So when I'm like when I'm talking to you,
Yes.
like I can see a lot of the time that I'm this is just like this weird construct of stuff. But and this is just being really honest, because conceptually I understand that you don't exist as such, but it still feels very real, and there still seems to be an interaction
Of
between.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, right, that's the illusion, right? So it's going to appear as palpable. It's going to appear as you don't even question it. It's almost unquestionable that this is real, right? But that's the very essence of the illusion. Is the illusion will perpetuate reality over and over and over again. And conceptually you can say that, you know what, I get what he's saying, but the experience is that I'm still here having this conversation with Emerson and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that very moment, that's also what it is. Kind of like what I say, right? There's really no separation, so to speak, right? So even the appearance of reality and not reality is the same thing. It's a paradox, basically, right? So it's gonna, like, wrote that poem, it's going to be achingly tangible, right? There's not even a space to doubt its reality.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is,
So
yeah.
so that brings the dilemma, right? Because I'm like, okay, that brings the duality again, right? Okay, I get that there's no one here, but how come it feels like there's someone here? But if you look at that, really can, like, really, really look at that, that's just coming from an illusory thought. There's really no basis on that one as well, right? And then going back to what I was saying, right? It is going to feel absolutely real, and it's not going to give you any room for even any kind of like doubt that this is real. Like, for example, if you see an apple, you're like, okay, that's an apple. I'm pretty sure that that's an apple.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that it's
But
like if you
it's
take away the word apple, then
yeah,
it's just
if you take away the word apple, if you take away your thoughts about apple or your feelings about apple,
yeah,
meaning that if it has nothing to do with you, then are you really looking at an apple?
right.
And the only basis that you have is your thoughts about it, your feelings about it, your assumptions about it, your beliefs about it, right? But what I'm talking about here has nothing to do with the character, basically, right? I'm pointing out that the character is illusory. So anything that the individual experiences, assumes, perceives, experiences is also illusory. But from the individual, it's not going to look illusory, of course. It's going to be like, wow, you know what? I bit the apple. It tastes like apple. You know what I'm saying? I asked somebody said, is this an apple? And somebody said, yes, it's an apple. It's the same thing as a dream at night, right? In a dream at night, everything feels absolutely real. And you don't really have a space for questioning it. But the moment that you wake up, everything that you thought was an apple, was it just goes into, it just evaporates completely. Kind of like what I said in the last meeting, you could be hula hooping the rings of Saturn on your waist and not question it. And then wake up and you're like, I was just hula hooping the rings of Saturn around my waist. But none of it happened. It's just all imagination. So everything that we're looking at right now is just all imaginative. It's all a construct. It's all a perception. And the one that's looking at it too, the observer, is also imagined. So it's like layers and layers of illusion, but it's really nothing and everything. And you can't even say that. I can going back to what I was saying, it's just this. It's just what is. And even that's it's describing it too much, right? Because it cannot really even be pointed out as this. But the word that's being used is just, it's almost like a clear, transparent tape that shows what is without obscuring it with definitions and ideas and meanings and feelings and assumptions and all that kind of stuff, right? And of course, the character is going to say, the individual is going to say, well, I don't see that. And that's the facade. And that's what springs forth the illusion that there's something missing. Am I seeing something that is not? Am I feeling something that is not, right? Or
Mm,
is there something that I'm overlooking or something, right? And the very act of that, you know what I'm saying, creates another illusion that there's something missing. Kind of like what I say, right? What I said earlier, what seems to be appear is true, as true and false is completely illusory because it's happening simultaneously. True or false, simultaneous. Left and right, simultaneous. Good and bad, the same. But you're not going to see that because you're coming from a perspective of duality, right? It's like, how do I say it in a clearer way? Um, you're always looking at it, but you're always thinking about it simultaneously. The moment that you think about it, then their perception is based on the assumption of what you've learned, basically it's based in time when you're looking at the timeless. So the timeless is always overlooked because time seems to operate as an illusory vehicle for the illusion of separation. Meaning that if there's no time, then there's no subject object. If there's no time, then there's no words. If there's no time, then there's no Maria. So everything that exists in time, so to speak, the thoughts, the perception experiences is an illusion based on the perception of time. And it doesn't make sense because sensing is also an illusion because sensing also appears as a time structure, right? The moment you try to figure it out, then you overlook the I'm trying to come up with a new word. Someone help me with the new word, wholeness or emptiness or what is this basically, right?
boundlessness,
Yes. Oh, okay.
maybe.
Yeah. Repeat it again.
Boundlessness.
I use that too.
Oh,
Um,
dot dot dot.
dot, dot, dot. But yeah, boundlessness, right? This vastness, right? Um, and then trying to comprehend it. So, for example, there's this vastness that everything is all encompassing this, basically, right? The moment you try to figure out this, the illusion springs forth. I'm not getting this. But what is trying to get this is also this. So it creates an illusion of this as you. It creates an illusion of wholeness as my perception. It creates an illusion of whatever, right? So it's like a shadow in between an infinite mirror. It's echoing nothing. It's ping-ponging illusions, basically.
Yeah, and like when you're on a seeking journey, it makes it sneakier because then you get to a certain, or I get to a certain point where I'm like, the ping pong is just going like,
Yeah.
this
Oh,
is,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
not it, this is not, this is it, this is not it. Why can I
Yeah.
get this? Why can I get this? What's wrong with me?
That's right. That's right. How do I get this? How do I, it's both and neither, right? So it's
Yeah. And then trying to step out of it, but like I'm still fucking trying all the time.
yeah, and you know, then this is really, really screwed up, right? Because unity or unicity is disguised as separate. It's a disguise. Separation is a disguise. So even thoughts is a disguise of wholeness. So
Right.
some people think that they have to get rid of thoughts, right? But if you take away that disguise, then it's completely transparently clear and empty. It's nothing, right? It's something that you cannot think of.
Mm.
It's like what is in drag. There's some bad drag, you know, saying good drag. It's dressed as it's a costume, right? The words are like costumes, ideas are like costumes. So you have this empty play with a whole bunch of costumes parading around, right? Um, but when the costumes drop, then there's no one behind the costume. It's just a play. Yeah.
The costume is just the costume.
It's just a costume. Yeah. It's a mask,
Not
right?
dressing anyone.
Yeah. It's not dressing anyone. There's no one behind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can say that phantom costumes, phantom masks, phantom appearances, right? And it's wild, right? It's bewildering actually to see this as this, but it also means that everything that, I was talking to a one-on-one and basically someone said that all my fantasies are dying.
Yeah.
All of my delusions are clearing up.
There's a few that are holding on for dear life,
But that's just another costume. See, that is another
right.
costume. Thinking that that is what's happening is just another costume, right?
Right.
It keeps on appearing over and over again. How about this? How about that? How about this? How about that? Right?
Oh, so sneaky.
Yeah. It's so sneaky, right? Because
Sneaky.
there's not even time for costume change.
It's like
I
the
was
great.
talking to this guy Murray, and he is a poet and he's also an actor, right? So, um, I was describing it as it's almost like a when you the main illusion, the main character, which is you, basically, is like a method acting. You get caught up in your method acting that you're Maria. And I've seen actors, kind of like can't shake off a role, you know what I'm saying, after they played it for like a month or two.
Yeah.
So it's empty playing a method acting, thinking that it is Maria. So thinking, mannerisms, patterns, suffering, flaws, what's wrong with me is all a costume. There's really no flaws. It's all perfection.
But also all the things that I think are like super special about me aren't. But
That's also a costume. Yeah.
damn it. Yeah.
That's why it's like, the fantasies also, dissipate, right? They also crumble because it's just another play, right? It's just another costume. It's just another idea.
So relationships of any kind, but especially like romantic relationships
Yeah.
are what's that then?
It's
Like,
just another appearance.
right.
Like if you dream at night, for example, right? You can have the most intimate relationship with someone. You can even be kind of like having an intimate act and moment. The moment that you wake up, You're like, oh, I guess that was
Aw.
just, I know.
Oh
Yeah. But it is what it is too, right? So it could be a recurring, it could be a recurring dream of a character that's always there with you, kind of thing, right? So, um, but there's no you and there's no other, is what I'm trying to say, right? Because they're both just illusions or costumes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've used the concept of that for like to really not feel stuff. So I'm trying to like
That's
not.
another, you put on, that's another costume. See?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. You can also, it's just all straight jackets.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it's fun until it's not. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'll let someone else talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you. Hello, Patrice.
Hi, Emerson. Hi,
Hello.
everyone. So touching on what you and Maria were discussing, the Apple example.
Yeah.
So how does this fit in, Emerson, with, okay, so this body has
Mhm.
a nervous system,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
The brain, the spinal cord,
Yeah.
and like these millions of neurons that are
Yes.
firing.
Yes.
So I see this apple and,
Yeah.
I'll identify the color and try
Yeah.
to, oh, is it a Granny Smith? Is it a Gala, et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera. So it seems like we're just kind of wired for this,
Oh yeah. Well, the illusion is
right?
so intricate, right? It's so palpable, right? That if you dive deep into it, right, you will support that it's reality. For example, if you go to if you go to your body organism and everything, right? You go all the way to your molecules and you go to the atom, right? The atom, you're going to see an atom there. But the next atom, this is a clue, right? Like whereabouts are you, Patrice? Where's your location?
Florida.
So for example, if my fist is the size of an atom, the next atom is in Florida and I'm in Toronto. It's empty. It's emptiness that looks to appear as this interconnected, you know what I'm saying, a wholeness, but it's just really empty. So even if you can like travel all the way to the far reaches of the universe, right? Everything is really empty. But from the perceiver, our neurons firing, there's millions of neurons firing when we're talking and everything. But it's just all illusory. But scientifically, you can keep on searching, you can keep on going theories and everything, kind of like how to discover that there's really no universe. So if there's no universe, then how can there be a you? How can there be an apple? How can there be language? How can there be time? How can be, I'm saying it's just mind blowing that it doesn't even exist. Although see, this is how duality works, right? Although someone can contend, say that, well, my theory proves that theory that there's no universe, right? Saying because I can show this, and that, and everything. So there's just this intricate interconnectedness play of something that's polarity, that's also basically which has an invisible thread and it's all connected. And that's just another kind of like fantasy that I'm trying to come up to try to show that everything that's empty is also full. Everything that's solid is also empty. All the movements are also stillness. So there's no two. It's all one. And the one is also an illusion. It's 0 and 1. So it's wild. It's wild, right? So I'm done trying to figure it out.
So the apple
It's also what
it
is.
it is, and
Yeah,
my thinking,
it's also what is. It's just disguised as thinking or apple. Like if you, for example, if you have a nighttime dream, right? Everything that appears in a nighttime dream, the moment that you wake up, becomes whole and also nothing. Meaning that it's all illusion, it's all dream. So even in this waking dream, it's all dream.
and
Even if you
this
think that you're awake, it's dreaming, or you know what I'm
dreaming,
saying? Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the body
It's a part of the dream.
it is part of the dream.
Yeah.
And it perpetuates this dream because of maybe this nervous system, or
You can't really say that because perpetuation is also a dream, you know what I'm saying?
okay.
But yeah, but it appears to perpetuate, right? That's the illusion. For
Appears,
example,
okay.
it's all an appearance, right? So the appearance, for example, like, well, like I can't believe that this is an illusion because my toothache or my knee is acting up, that kind of thing, right? So the illusion is always going to persist that this is reality, and it's going to show up in many different ways, in infinite ways. So this is the infinite expression of the illusion of this appearing as whatever this is that's appearing right now. So it could appear as a migraine. It could appear as bliss. It's not one thing. And the seeming contradiction in trying to get this is people think it's one thing. But the one thing is everything. So there's a constructed idea, for example, that this is going to be the absence of thoughts, the absence of feelings, but what really think what seems to be passed on as this romanticism of what this is fantasy. If you really don't have thoughts and you don't have feelings and you don't have any kind of, then it's the same thing as being comatose. I don't see a whole bunch of people lining up to be comatose.
Right.
But there's
Okay.
this fantasy, you know what I'm saying, of not having any problems, but they don't see that problems are part of it. The feeling of lack is also it. Even the feeling of a contraction is also it. But seemingly what happens, kind of like what I was saying, is that they take ownership of it. The characters take ownership of it. That's why, for example, for an illusion to make it real, then you connect to another illusion which you declare as reality. So that's why there's a lot of belief systems out there that can get you caught up. All of a sudden you live in a community. All of a sudden you're believing one person, what they're saying, because they have seemingly constructed an idea that they own the truth, that they're the chosen one. But all of that is a dream. All of it is illusion. No one can get out of the illusion because there's no one to get out of the illusion. No one can wake up from the dream because that's just another dream, right?
So dream, illusion, I don't know how many billion people there are on this planet right
yeah.
now. And some people seem to be we touched on this a few weeks ago, seem to be experiencing what looks pretty awful.
Yeah,
Again,
of
that's
course.
duality. And then
Of
someone just
course.
won the lottery
Exactly.
yesterday.
Now you get
So
it, right?
what is I know there's not a why answer, but I think well, why do some people have such awful experiences? Of course, I want to categorize it as awful.
Because again, and that's how the illusion springs. The whys, the something lacking, right? The moment that feeling, and then there's a separate thing that that I must be unfortunate, or I might, how do I get there, kind of thing, right? But that's just, this is going to be wild, right? But the person that has nothing and the person has everything is the same. Illusion. It's all illusion. In the illusion, because it's going to perpetuate, duality, of course there's going to be more fortunate ones. Of course there's going to be disadvantaged one, right? Because that's how it appears. And you can also say that, and this is going to sound like really solipsistic, right? That there is no 8 billion people. It's all wholeness basically appearing as 8 billion people. But because it's an intricate, perfect illusion, if you seek to meet every single 8 billion person, you're going to surely meet them. If you want to investigate that, right? or if you go and investigate a little bit much further, right? You can also say that all of this, every single of those 8 billion people, when you investigate it, when you really kind of you put it under a microscope, they're 99.99% empty space. So it's empty space appearing as 8 billion people. But the reality is so persistent. I mean, the illusion is so persistent that it's reality that you can shake their hand. They'll have a story. There'll be 8 billion stories. There'll be 8 billion thumbprints. There'll be 8 billion different way of walking. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. It's wild, right?
Is there something behind the illusion?
Well, your thinking is an illusion. So thinking that there's something behind an illusion is also an illusion. So even if I answer that, I will also answer you with an illusion.
Yeah. To be continued.
And then even that is an illusion. There's nothing to
Right.
continue. Yeah. Yeah. It will just spiral into this illusion after, the illusion can't get out of the illusion because it will still be an illusion. But what's always overlooked is what people call, some people call peace or freedom or whatever, right? But again, these are just words. Let's just call it the unmovable, the untouchable. There's something that's the untouchable here, that no matter what happens to you, or no matter how desperate you are, you know what I'm saying, to try to figure this out, the untouchable is already the untouchable, meaning that it does not need to be figured out. And seemingly when that occurs, the end of seeking, when the untouchable sees that it's also the untouchable and is trying to figure it out, then what seemingly happens is that Kathy made a comment that doesn't make pain less. Pain will still happen, but there's no one behind the pain because it's untouchable. All of the appearances of life suffering might occur. All of a sudden you can find out that, someone just stole your identity and you're broke all of a sudden and you're on the streets, that kind of thing. Or you can get accused of you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, get accused of something, you get put on jail, for example. It's a part of this. It's a part of this. It's all this. But what is often overlooked is that even those hardships that seem to appear are also illusion. But something that's neither an illusion or reality that we have no idea about, right, is permanently here. And not what you think you are, but that's what you are. Not as an individual, not as an identity, not as a being, but what you are. What you are, you know what I'm saying? Anything that you think of what you are, if you think that you are consciousness, if you think that you're God, awareness, or the biggest piece of whatever, you know what I'm saying, are all illusory. Because this cannot be comprehended. It already is. It's not what people want to hear, right? Saying because they come to these meetings looking for answers. But that's the thing, right? The answers are illusory because the questioners are illusory. It's almost like reading between the lines that it's already this.
Thank you.
Thank you. What are you drinking? It's sparkling water. It's mango. It's good. Do you want me to say vodka? There's nothing wrong or right about that. Hi, Emerson. I just got knocked out there into silence. But why does the noise come back after these meetings? The noise is it too. The noise, it's that's it too. That's it too. You know, it doesn't have any opposites, right? So the opposites are all a disguise. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's just it's a it's a prank, right? It's a joke that there are opposites. So even whatever appears, right? The moment that there's no ownership, it's always home. You can even say that even pain, you know what I'm saying, as hard it is sometimes, that's also it. That's also it. It's always it. But the peace of mind that there's no mind is what persists. When the mind stop basically stops, right? When the mind stop trying to figure it out, right? So it's just a disguise. Everything is a disguise, but it's always this. Love the whispering, Boomy. It's like I'm telling you a secret that's not a secret. Boom.
Boom, Emmy, boom. Beautiful, really beautiful with the whispering, you know.
Yeah,
Because
it's
it's like,
this.
yeah, it's booming. It's booming the
Yeah,
whole time, on and on.
it
Love ya, enjoy.
is.
Mwah.
Mwah. Yeah, Rosa, it's all a disguise. It's just boom. Everything is boom,
Yes,
boom, 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 boom.
it
But
is.
there's a
Yeah,
disguise that it's not boom, right? So even
yeah,
not boom is boom, right? Yeah.
yeah. Sweetheart, I love you.
So how do you know this? I don't. That's the thing, right? I don't, because knowing is also a disguise. Knowing is disguise. So when all of the costumes, it's all stripped down, you can say also that it's not knowing and not unknowing, right? It's just, yeah. If you notice when you're speaking directly, there are no thoughts behind it. There are no, it's just these sounds coming in and out. It's it's ever present. It's in the silence, it's in the gaps, it's also in the sound, it's in the words, but it's not the words, it's not even the silence, because if I say it's a silence, then people will start looking for silence, right? It already is. Hi, Emerson. I really love the poem that you sent earlier today. And one thing stood out, an itch to stitch together fragments. Yes. I like that too, to be it's almost like there's something missing, right? There's something, but even the itch to stitch all of the separation is also it. It just appears so, right? It's to soothe, the pain of wrongness or separation, or it's the quest to find rightness and everything, right? So um but that's just what is appearing, as it's basically it's morphing all the time, right? This, the unquestionable, this, the unknowable, the unconditional, this is always seemingly morphing into this, my problem, my quest, my seeking. There is no ownership in home. The home that doesn't have any boundaries, there's no owners. Maria goes, how long? I wonder how long it would take to high five all 8 billion people. An eternity. I have a request. Can you read the poem that you sent earlier? Just a second. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. It's the same thing as my intro. If you listen to the intro, it's the same thing. It's just in poetry form. But I'll read it. No worries whatsoever. Yeah. Uh, um, just a second here. Sorry. Okay. The illusion of this. In this paradoxical realm, what seems real may not be. It is both and neither. An emptiness masquerading as fullness. Unity disguised as division. For this paradox brings an illusion of me or a self experiencing this, a feeling so achingly tangible, there's no room to doubt its reality. But this duality breeds discontent, an itch to stitch together fragments, to mend the sense of incompleteness, to make this imperfect perfect. Thus, this morphs into my story, my life, a quest to better, to fix, to seek, to suit the ache of wrongness, to unearth the elusive rightness. Yet here in these exchanges, unveilings occur, pointing to what is always this, the illusion of separateness, the mirage of an individual in need, all dissolved into nothingness. In its essence, this is whole, nothing lacking, nothing needed. Here lies the end of seeking, not in discovery, but in disappearances. What remains is an all-encompassing this, no longer sought, but simply embraced. In every moment, every sensation, lies the completeness that is yearned for, beyond the grasp of individual desires, beyond the confines of I am. It is not a personal wholeness that is sought, but the wholeness of existing as it is, already present, already whole, in the endless dance of this, the illusion of this, which is also this. Thank you. Thank you, Emerson. That was so perfect. Do you mind if I tattoo that on my back? Why? Call me. Maria, go ahead, please.
Something that struck me as you were reading your poem is that like seeking is actually like putting off happiness. Like
Yes, it's putting off peace, right? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's like denying it over and over and over again, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of wild.
It is, right? Because and again, you know what? It's the moment that there is a discontent, the moment that there's a thought, see how it springs, the illusion springs, like there's something missing here. So it's almost like eternal party pooper.
Right.
It's it always it always you know can I call a manager kind of thing moment, right? There's always something missing when it already
The
is.
Karen.
Yeah,
Karen.
the divine Karen. Yeah.
No offense to anyone called Karen.
Which is also it, by the way, right? So that when it kind of like when it pops out of nowhere, then the illusion captures that there is a you, that you become the desire, that you become the longing, you become the pain, you become the Karen, right? But it has nothing to do with becoming. It's always
No.
what is. Yeah. So the moment that there is something that pops up, right, then it tries to solve an imaginary obstacle.
It's like, I won't be happy until.
Yes. And I remember as a little kid playing that with you know what I'm saying, like, okay, if in 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing, you know what, you test your mind, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing. If this doesn't happen, I will evaporate or something. I will be whatever seems to appear, right? But nothing really happens because it's just all imaginative. Your thoughts are completely powerless.
Don't tell the manifesting people that.
That's right.
They will hunt you down with torches.
Yeah, I've gotten in trouble already from manifesting characters, right? They're like, but that's also
Well, that's
what
the thing.
is.
But isn't it also like the manifesting thing? All that stuff is fine until, but it's like it's not needed. That's
It's
the
not
thing.
needed. No. You know, because everything is really, you know what, and this is going to sound like another position, right? But everything is insignificant. Because
Yeah.
dualities, you know what I'm saying? It's just a plain duality. Like, you know, if you're manifesting, then you really believing that there is scarcity.
Right.
Because you're creating, you know what I'm saying? Because you're transmuting into, you know, magical thinking of that there is something that you can do as a process to reverse that, right?
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just
No, there's nothing wrong with that, right? And you know what, and you will catch that, you know, it's child's play basically, right? You can catch that with the little kid. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm thinking about an ice cream and a unicorn. If manifesting really worked, the best manifestors would be the kids. But have you seen any unicorns pop up lately?
you. No.
or all of a sudden the kitchen will be filled with nothing but ice cream. The mom will be like, what happened here? Like, oh, I manifested ice cream. Sorry.
Yeah, because they really believe it.
They really believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you and they're innocent, right? So they really believe it, right? It's like when I was a little kid, you know, I believed in my manifesting powers, but it's just child's play. But somehow someone just got really serious, you know what I'm saying, with it. It's when you start getting stuck in that mud of seriousness. It's a quicksand, basically. And then you
Right.
go into the depths of your imagination, into a rabbit hole of thinking, and thinking that, okay, you know what? If I charge people $1,000 to come into my manifesting classes, then I manifested wealth, right? But if you really look at that, right, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people in that thing, right? Because
Yes. Someone needs to
you're
suffer.
basically teaching them what you do, you know what I'm saying, and then your supply, you know what I'm saying, like it's all play, you know what I'm saying? I don't have anything against it whatsoever, right? But I see it clearly for what it is.
Well, it's almost like when in that view, it's like when you're the fun thing about manifesting can just be that like you're training your brain to notice hot guys if you're manifesting hot guys, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is Which is harmless until then there's no hot guys, and then you think you're like bad at manifesting.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
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 Oh, that's fun. Okay.
It's just all mind tricks, right? And there's no mind to trick because the mind is the trickster.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Emerson. It's Kathy.
Hello. Hey, Kathy.
Hi.
I
Hi.
can't see you
I
though. Where are
just,
you?
I'm walking and I'm
Oh, you're
bouncing
walking.
up
Okay,
and
okay.
down.
No worries.
Well, I don't
I
care.
hear you. I
I'm
hear you.
walking, so anyway, I just all I wanted to say was I enjoyed the recording with Murray.
Oh, he's
I
great.
had a good laugh, when he talked about the dogs in his town and the dog party. The dog festival, and then you were talking about Bella Ella and how she does. But anyway, it was funny and it was great. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I like that the
Okay.
conversation is really relatable. You know what I'm saying? It's just the normalcy of everything, right? So, but yeah, thank you. I really enjoyed the
Yeah.
conversation.
Okay.
He's the poet guy. Yeah, he's awesome. Thank you, Kathy. So is seeking, here's a question. So is seeking just another form of self-improvement? Yeah. So the quest, that path of self-improvement is powered by the illusion that there's someone to improve, something to drop, there's something wrong, something separate. It's a disconnect to what is, right? Because what is already perfect, with or without you. So the idea that there's a flaw, that there's something wrong, that there's something that needs to, improve and everything is a cycle of it's like an infinite loop of suffering. It never really stops, right? Because there's no self. So when the assumption that, or the belief that there is someone to improve, someone to drop and everything, can take many, many different forms, but it goes into this hyper delusion that the assumption and the belief system seems to be hard to dislodge because it's something that runs the show, so to speak, right? So to see through that really there is, and no one wants to accept this, right? But what is already perfect. And not just self-improvement, not just manifestation, but any coaches will not like this because it is what it is already. There's nothing wrong with self-improvement or whatever, but there's no one behind it. That's the conundrum. That's the disconnect, right? On my seeking, on my path of self-improvement, it was just full of the Holy Week is coming in the Catholic Church here. I grew up Catholic, and it's like self-flagellation, you know what I'm saying? It's always like thinking that by hitting yourself over and over again, that there is something that would improve or something that can drop or anything. And it's the same thing as seeking. There's nothing wrong or right about it. It's just what's happening. But again, when the quicksand of seriousness sucks you in, especially that notion that there is something wrong with you, with what is just happening fluidly with or without you. Emerson, if you told me that someone attempted to harm you or your doggo or your family members, I would feel very upset and think that is wrong. Emerson, what is wrong with that bad person? That duality of right and wrong seems inarguable and correct. How might the character Emerson experience that thwarted act of potential harm to loved ones? So this is kind of like the idea that this is where there's a lot of stuckness, right? Even if there is clarity here that there is simply no self or no self or no me or whatever, right? Love still happens. Anger still appears. For my case, not really that much anymore, but anger still happens, right? So um there's always also going to protect my family and my dog, right? It just happens. One of the things that I remembered a long time ago is when my memory is really, really bad, so I might get the story wrong again. But I was afraid of crossing roads because I got hit by a car twice when I was a little kid, right? And but somehow, you know what, someone was in the middle of the road, and I don't know how I ran in the middle of a highway traffic and just protected that person from getting hit again. I did not make any choices. If you really look at it, I had a phobia of crossing, right? But somehow that happened. And I've seen that over and over again, right? There's really no one choosing to get upset or not upset. It just appears. The thing with self-improvement, tying it with the question before, is that when something happens and you're like, oh, I should have crossed that road and helped that person, is that there's going to be a shame and guilt and everything when there was really no choice to do that. It just happens. Doing it or not doing it is just innocence at play. It's just what is. So thinking that you can do something or that idea again that there's something wrong with you. So it always points back that there's something that you can do. It always points back that something that you can improve. And that's the seeming dilemma, that what is listening to this does not see or hear that it's already perfect as it is. So if anger happened, that's perfect. If protecting others, that's perfect. It's as it is. For example, for this character, right? It's the characters are not in a box. There's no me identity, meaning that when there is a clarity without words, like, and people call it dropping away, you don't belong in a box anymore. There's authenticity that comes out. There is not there is not a cookie cutter dropping away. It's all different. And there's really no one to drop away. So really it's just the authenticity appearing as it is. So if a character, for example, is indifferent, then it's going to be indifferent. If a character is caring, it's going to be caring. If the character is loving, it's going to be loving. If the character is whatever it is what it is. It's the variety of this appearance, of this emptiness appearing as whatever seems to appear as it. So the character Emerson would definitely protect his family, saying definitely do everything it can, right? To do that. So yeah. But there's also nothing wrong with the character that does not want to do that. It's just what is. Corey. Hi, Corey.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi, hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, just thinking about what you're saying about manifestation.
Yeah.
Because just lately, I've been thinking. I've got a friend who regularly consults a medium.
Yes.
And speaks people on the other side.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know. Of course, I used to
It
believe
is what it is. To think that there's something wrong with that is just another position, right? So if that's what happens, so what, right?
How on earth? I mean, them talking of the mind creating something.
Yeah.
You were talking about that. So these people, and what seems to come through is so relevant. I just so many thoughts about that, and
Well, everything is allowed, right? There was
yeah,
a
I
phase
know,
in my life, and I think I told you this, that I believed in ascended masters and channeling and all that kind of stuff, right?
yeah.
And during that time, I thought that that could help humanity and everything, right? So now I don't have any beliefs anymore, or non-beliefs, basically. So whatever comes, it's allowed, and it's not rejected, and even the rejection is what is, right? So it doesn't try to try to hold on to something as my opinion, as my perception, right? So um it's basically having this wide openness. So that's it too, right? um
Of course.
Everything is an illusion anyway, right? But I still eat breakfast and I still go running and everything. It's the same thing as whatever you're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I just I know there's no mind, yet how clever the mind is. For example, some time back, uh, a relative was a very difficult relationship, and after they'd died, I know I woke up, I was from asleep, and I was awake, but
Yeah.
I saw them as clear as a pikestaff, and they put their arms around me and
Oh,
and I just, the me here just felt, oh, they've realized what they did to me, and it was so comforting. And all that was a creation of the mind.
yeah.
It wasn't even there.
No, no. You know what? And there's nothing wrong or right about that, right? So to see that the thing is, when the moment that that happens, that's it, right? And what springs forth as an illusion is when you think that there's something wrong or right about it.
But
Then
it's
it becomes,
very clever.
it's very, very, it's the, well, you know what? If what is perfection is going to appear as an illusion, the illusion is also going to be perfect, doesn't it? This is perfection, right? So the illusions are also going to be perfect. It's so clever. It's wild. It's wow, right? It's like at one point when all of the bearings of the illusion of the mind, right, just collapsed, right? I was like, wow, that was a wild, it's like a long con, right? It's a long con. It keeps on playing and playing and playing. Even as we seemingly just a moment here, someone's requesting. Even seemingly the idea, I'm saying that that we have something to do with this, or I caught that or whatever, it's just another play. No one catches it, right? No one realizes it because it's already realized. But the play keeps on going. It keeps on going, right? It's like if you and it's gorgeous though. It's gorgeous, right? If you see that it's just innocence playing, it's gorgeous. Because it can appear as opposites, but there's no opposites. It can appear as channeling, right? Because before I was convinced that's like, that's it. That's channeling, is it? Like there's going to be some advanced beings and everything, right? That's just another trick, right? It's just another play.
It's really hard sometimes because some friends are totally into channeling and they're sort of going on about it really enthusiastically. And I find it quite difficult not to, not to say anything really.
Yeah.
Why should I? Because I don't need to, because that's perfect. But
that's also what is. Yeah, that's also what is. Again, when you find yourself, sinking in the quicksand of seriousness, I like that term now, right? Because you get stuck. But when you see that right away, kind of like, happening, then you walk away, right? It's just, you walk away from it. You know what? And although there's no choice in doing that, but when you see that the stickiness happens, right? When you get irritated by it, that's it too. There's nothing wrong or right about that, because the tendency is to try to correct that, right? To try to go like, why did I do that? That's also it. That's also it. So again, kind of like what I was saying earlier, everything is like a costume, right? The costume of, so the way that I see it sometimes, it's like my little nephews and nieces, creating this place about channeling and everything. it's I know it's just play. I know that there's no reality to it, but I'm not going to burst their bubble and say that, you know what? There is no unicorns or there's no tooth fairy or whatever, right? It will unravel anyway for them, right? It's just all imagination. So when it's funny, right? Because I got invited. Did I tell you the story, Corey? I got invited to show up to I thought I was invited to do a non-duality talk and in a fancy place and everything, right? So when I showed up, there were 50 people there, and then they were all sitting down in meditation cushions. And it clicked that I was invited to teach meditation. They booked the old Emerson. They have no idea what I do. So I spoke for about 15 minutes, you know what I'm saying? And did not do anything. Just spoke like this. All I said, all that there is just this emptiness, this stillness. And seemingly 15 minutes of that, right? Kind of like my introduction in these talks, and I just went silent. And someone said that was such a great meditation. I did correct them. I'm like, oh, thank you.
They were open to that. Yeah.
They were, and then someone said that they were like, what was that? It was so great. They're like, someone said that we know that you are an experienced meditation teacher because you did not give any instructions. But I can also tell that there were a lot of people that were kind of like shifting around. They're like, what the hell is going on here? Why did they invite this guy? What the hell is he doing here?
Yeah, it's quite a game to know how to handle these things. But then, what happens, happens.
Yeah, whatever happens, happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they invited me again, and I said yes again. I was surprised, right? Because there's no more hang-ups here, right? And it was just a joy to be there as well, right? It was just and a couple of them have done one-on-ones, and they were like, what the hell are you talking about, right? So they got curious about what I did and everything. But yeah, it's beautiful. I enjoy it too. Yeah.
And even though they did one-on-ones, they didn't know what you were talking about.
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea. Yeah, no idea. Because people are like, they're like, is this a meditation? One-on-one? They don't even know what non-duality is, right? So
Oh.
thank you, Corey. We'll chat tomorrow.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yay.
that would be lovely. Just to say, I'm still not getting your.
I don't know why, because I sent it directly to you. I don't know why, because I actually, today, and I was so happy to see you, right? Oh, no, not today, but Friday. I sent you the email on Friday too.
Yes, I got that.
You got it. Okay.
I got that. But what I don't get is your, like the weekly Sunday night.
Okay.
Zooms.
A lot of people actually are messaging me that they're not getting it too. So
Oh, really? So it's
yeah.
not my computer. It's your brain.
No, yeah. So I think that, you know what, I keep on saying this, I have to change my email servers, but I don't have a memory, so I keep on forgetting it.
I thought you'd forgotten. Yeah.
That's what I said the last time, right?
You did.
And
Yes.
after this meeting, like I'm walking my doggy and everything is
Yeah,
but
I know,
let
I
me
know.
put a note on it.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's what I
Hey
do.
Siri, can you remind me to change my email server? There we go.
Yeah, great. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because it has all the recordings and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Be really good. Oh, how's your little dog?
Oh, she's so needy, but she's so sweet.
Oh,
Sweetest dog. Yeah. Sweet.
Oh.
It's likes to cuddle, and
oh.
cries when I'm not here and jumps to my chest when I come back home. It's like, wow, right?
Oh, she's fully grown now.
Yeah, she's fully grown, and she has a lot of she doesn't have any aggression. She, the moment that I touch her cheek, you know what I'm saying? She goes into like a purr. She's almost like snoring, right? So she just melts, into, yeah. she's one of those doggies that are, because I'm always at home, right? So she's always with me. Yeah, so she's very, very sweet, and yeah, no aggression. Even food, she doesn't. You can take off, food out of her mouth, and she won't
Oh,
care. Yeah,
oh my word.
we had my sister's dog here, which is an adopted dog from Russia.
Wow.
So they ate from the same bowl. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. Does she sleep on your bed?
Yes.
That's what I guessed.
I have a bed for her on the ground, but you know what? I wake up in the morning and she's all of a sudden, like cuddled up with me and everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
No choice.
Beautiful. Mm. Mm. Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a few questions here. Here. Going back to the previous question, example, how is the act of someone wanting to harm your loved one, Emerson, not wrong? How is that innocence and just what is appearing? The duality of right and wrong seems so accurate in the example of someone wanting to harm another. Thank you. Yeah, so here's how it goes, right? So there's always going to be duality, right? So in the relative appearance, of course that's wrong. But in the absolute, there's nothing wrong or right. It's just all innocence. But in the relative, you know what I'm saying? If you conceptualize, saying something as something wrong or right, then it's just bypassing, isn't it? If you believe in it. What seems to appear is that there's a series of action. Wrong is still going to be wrong, right is right, right is going to appear as right, but there's no one behind it. So there's almost like an instant seeing that it's also innocence. But also the action here of judging the character is also not wrong or right. Everything that appears seems to appear as wrong or right, but there's no one behind it, so there's really no identity in it. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. And it's not going to make sense because the apparent character is only going to think in opposites. For a character cannot really comprehend non-duality, because when non-duality, meaning that the unseparateness, then it doesn't exist. So what it thinks or comes up with does not even matter, that kind of thing, right? So for the character here, if I see someone getting beat up, I'll help the person, of course. If I see someone, if I see my little doggy peeing everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Although there's nothing wrong or right, I'll correct it as well, right? But again, I'm not doing it. The puppy's not doing it. It's just what's happening. So there's this flow of opposites that's happening. But what is not moving is the seamless, boundless, I don't know what to call it, is always there. Yeah. But thank you for that question. You said something like, what is there without any thoughts from your recent YouTube video? Which would be nice if you could talk more about it. Yeah. So in the realm of thoughts, which is the relative, basically, right? There's always going to be a happening. There's always going to be you that's moving through time and space, but that illusion collapses in and out, meaning that it's not really there. So what are you without your thoughts? What are you without thoughts? Is there even a you? Is there even a thoughts without thoughts? There's this mesmerizing seeming appearance when thoughts appear as my thoughts, as my understanding, as my apprehension, my feelings, my sensation. It comes and goes. But what is always overlooked is that what are you without any of these thoughts? Do you even exist? Are you even real? Does it even matter? Because do you exist? Are you real? Are just thoughts? So isn't it already what is? Even if you think that it's not, because that's just a thought. It's just really simple and direct, right? Thoughts are not really real. So how could you think that you are real based on thoughts? Simple. Or assumptions, which is followed by a thought usually. If you want to add to that, please go ahead. It's so clear and obvious without thoughts. But with thoughts, it's contradictory. There's something missing. Again, the illusion springs forth at the thought of that there's something missing, that there's something wrong. But what's being missed is that the feeling of something missing is also it. It's always it, no matter what it is. But thank you for that question. If you want to add some more, please go ahead. Do you still have any problems? Problems happen. Problems are also it. But there's no internalization of the problems, right? So usually the problems get solved in its immediacy, right? So it's not something that's held onto over and over again. Although everything is allowed, right? So yeah, problems still appear, right? But it's not a problem if there's a problem. You got 99 problems, but a thought ain't one. That's a good t-shirt. That's a good merch, Maria. Hi, Emerson. I appreciate the TikTok shorts. I really, really enjoyed them. That's what led me to you here. Can you also post them on Instagram? Yes, yes, yes. I actually have all the videos ready to post and everything. So yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I love them too. Are you planning to do more in-person meetings? I do actually, but unfortunately, some of well, the couple ones are already I don't post it because they're already full. But I'll plan more. But there's no need, saying there's the Zoom meetings. It's not any different, right? So, but thank you. How's my mom? Oh, my mom is doing okay, but she's slowly deteriorating, unfortunately, you know. So a lot of frustration happens because it's hard for her to walk. So her feet freezes a little bit, right? So we tried to, she wanted to go for a spa, right? So we booked a spa for her, but she could not even walk anymore. So the spa had a few stairs, so we had to cancel it. Um, so a lot of frustration, but that's also it. Yeah. I just try to make her laugh, right? So right after this, I'll give her a massage. Um, yeah, so just spending time with her. Yeah. But that's also part of what is, right? The deterioration. Um, so yeah, so there's more frustration. All I could do is just make her laugh and everything. But yeah, but thank you for asking. Can you talk about loneliness? Um, can you oh, just loneliness in general? Um, Loneliness, there's aloneness can, I guess, appear as well, right? Because it's just what is. But maybe this is the wrong character to ask, right? Because it's really never boring anymore for some odd reason. Although there's no one here, there's a lot of love that happens in these meetings, like for this character anyway, right? So I enjoy this. So even if I don't see people up, I have amazing family. I have awesome friends actually that are from long ago friends, and I have new friends actually that used to do one-on-ones, used to do meetings in Toronto, and we just hang out now. We just go out and eat, right? So yeah. So loneliness is also it. But personal loneliness is no longer here, right? So it's just yeah. Maria. Hi, Maria.
Hi.
Hello.
Everyone. Thanks everyone for giving me so much airtime.
Oh, no worries.
So on the thing of loneliness,
Yeah.
and on the thing of like just putting off our happiness, there's still this like real pattern here that just is so obsessed about finding a partner.
Yeah. And that's it
And
too, by the way. Right? There's nothing wrong or right about that, right? It's also a longing, but the longing is just it's just it, right? So, but go ahead, sorry, continue.
well, no, because then when I've had glimpses, which I know aren't different from not having glimpses.
Yeah.
But then it's like, then it's just like, oh,
You've been
I
listening.
don't. Yeah, it's a bit of a moot question, but then I'm like, oh, I don't like, I can see that the whole desire for a partner is still just selling myself short in terms of how good I can feel right now.
That's just another thought to basically overlook that this is already complete, right? Partner or no partner. So it tries again, right? It springs forth an illusion, try to create something wrong when there's nothing wrong. So there's nothing wrong with that thought, but there's also nothing wrong with being just
The desire.
content with, yeah, that's also it, right? That's also it. That's also it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you see that it's always it, then the desire's not permanent, right? It just comes and goes. One day you just really want an ice cream. One day you just really want to be alone, right?
Yeah.
One day. It's just something that comes and goes, right? What comes and goes is just illusory. So by not holding on to it, although there's no one holding on to it, you see that it's just fleeting moments. There's always going to be the illusion of continuity, right? And then you'll convince yourself that this is what my desire is for a long, long time now, but it's not always there.
No, that's true.
And it's going to be funny, right? Let's just say that you found someone And then there's honeymoon period and everything. Then there's a desire to be alone now. Like I talk to so many people that have relationships, right? They're like, should I just really want to be alone. So that's another desire, right? So the desire will keep on going over and over and over. But when you see that there's no one behind the desire, then it comes and goes. It has nothing to do with you, really. Let's just be blunt, right? Because you're trying to, it's a delusion again.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong or right with the delusion because it's a delusion. Making it right, making it wrong makes it reality. And that's the illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels like a bit of a waste of time to be.
But that's just another ideation. Like, snap.
Okay.
Yeah. See how tricky it is, right? It will come up kind of like what Corey now was talking, right? It's so sneaky.
Yeah.
It's so sneaky. It appears in everything, right? And it creates a wrong or right about everything when it's just what is.
Yeah.
It's easy to get trapped into the idea of right and wrong as well, right? And there's nothing wrong about the ideas of right and wrong because right and wrong are just ideas.
It's also easy to get trapped in the idea of being beyond right and wrong. That's where
That's
I get
another idea. Yeah. So it just keeps on going, right? Everything. The moment they're like, well, you know what? I don't really believe in right or wrong anymore. That's another belief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick a fork in me. I'm done.
Yeah.
All right.
Not enough problems, but a thought ain't one.
Yeah. You have that one for free.
Oh, I will show you something. So last night, a couple nights ago, a couple of people that comes to the meetings, we used to have meetings and everything. They got me this shirt. I'll show you. It's so sweet, right? It's like
Oh,
isn't it the sweetest?
wow.
And it has a cinnamon roll on the sleeve.
No.
Yeah. So it's Noelle and Jack, right? So Noelle is Jack's girlfriend. She doesn't even listen to non-duality, right? But Jack, it was funny, right? Because we were in this small gathering with just a few people, maybe 8 people. And then Jack has a bad back and then he was sitting on the ground looking really, really intensely. And then he started laughing. And then he's like in his 20s and the seeking is done. So we just go eat out now. Yeah, we just go eat out. Hi, Jack, if he's watching. He doesn't even come to these meetings anymore. He said that he looked at my YouTube and he's like, how did it goes, I have to get a shirt. Yeah, so he got, for my birthday, he also got me a cinnamon roll cake. So a cake made out of cinnamon rolls, right? So that's what I'm saying. There's so much, there's so much love when you're just friends and there's no guru, there's no teacher, there's no speaker. It's just friendship, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I see everyone. It's just the equality of it, right? So even when you're saying that, oh, Emerson, I'm like, that's it, Maria, that's it.
I know.
Yeah, I know. But call me, saying, yeah, I know.
I'll not get there, never get there, not get there.
That's
Doesn't
the
matter.
thing, right? It's not in the thoughts. It's without the thoughts, it is already there or
Yeah.
not there. It doesn't matter.
I do feel happier.
Good.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Well, okay. Yeah, I have to spend time with my mom. So I thank you so much for coming. It's such a